Alright, apparently my videos are cringe to the League of Legends community. If you can't handle cringe, go. Unless you're just that interested in the champion that you're willing to ignore the cringe, at which point I salute you in your fortitude. The reason I'm even bothering is because somebody expressed interest in me making more League videos, so there, whatever. Okay, you can already tell what this video is going to be because of the title. So, the reason I chose an Arctic Druid is because you just don't see enough Druids that, well, frankly, are anything but in the forests. Too often people say nature and they immediately think of forests. It'd be nice if we could remember there are other environments in this universe. Now, I don't remember what came first, but I think I thought of a Poro animal companion, and that, of course, became Arctic Druid. The Poro's name, of course, being Snowball, because I am just a bastion of originality. In fact, once we get to the abilities, you're going to see just what a bastion of originality I am. And also because this character is not original character, please don't steal enough, it is Brahm's sister. I mean, her animal companion's a Poro. Are you really surprised? And it would be rather obvious she is Brahm's sister. We're not going for, oh, the brother is all warm and inviting, but the sister's cold and scary. No, very obvious. They are chips off the very same block. I would not say quite to the extent of Alawi, but I'd say she should be kind of built. If nothing else, give her that same feeling that Vi has. Okay, let me stop that. Now, before I move on to the passive, it should be obvious that this is essentially a mashup of Orianna and Annie, primarily in the department of how they handle their pets. Whereas Annie, okay, technically there's some interaction and it always has been, but the idea is the pet for Annie is an independent entity and also does its own attacks and can take damage. Orianna brings in the permanent presence and abilities that interact with the pet, or rather, the pet being the source of it. That's a better way to put it. So, first part of the passive is Malphite's Shield, like I said. If I didn't say it, well, too bad. Shut up, I don't feel like re-recording this crap. Based off some portion of AP, and they're done. After that, both the actual Druid herself as well as Snowball start off very squishy in terms of actual health. Snowball actually probably should end up being on the backfield for 2 or 3 levels before he starts tanking up enough, / you have abilities enough to use for it to be worth risking Snowball. Because when he dies, he should probably go away for, I'd say, at least 30 seconds. Really leave yourself open for that time. But, to make up for this, tank stats. She starts off with naturally high tank stats and has a good progression. And gives those tank stats to Snowball with interest. I don't know, 20, 30%, I don't know. I don't do numbers, I do ideas. After that, same thing with movement speed. Whatever she has, plus a little bit more to give him mobility within teamfights. He also would probably have about the same range as Orianna's Ball. And if it wouldn't be overpowered, his auto attacks would be magic either way. That's obviously not going to be overpowered one way or the other. But either A, his passive auto attacks would either just have a certain amount each level, or would have a little bit of AP scaling, with leveling up the ult, making them even more powerful, but we'll get to that when we get to the ult. So, that's the passive, named unimaginatively Animal Companion. Now that we got that wall of text done, fortunately, everything else is, for the most part, a lot simpler. I'm not Riot Games. I don't make abilities that are 2 paragraphs long. interactivity is nice, right? But there gets to a point where it's just too much. So, the Q is a simple point-and-click damage spell. We're essentially ripping off Annie's Q, but not even quite that, because the whole refund thing is not there. The idea is this is at least without cooldown reduction, a not quite spammable, just direct damage ability. The damage is neither awe-inspiring nor crappy. It is whatever it should be for the cooldown reduction, for the cooldown and mana. Nice and simple. Go with Ice Lance because it's essentially an icicle shooting at somebody. Why not? After that, W. I have no name. Screw you. Snowball dashes to a point and does a not that great damage. Not, non-existent, but it's somewhat underperforming. But it's mostly there for initiation and AoE knockup. And why is that awesome? Well, simple. E. E, you cast it on an AoE probably slightly larger than the W. And by the way, I'm thinking Frostbite or Cold Snap. One or the other. The initial damage is not that much. There might be some overtime damage after that, but either way. Maybe just simply, if you are in the initial cast, or once you touch it, you take the damage, you are slowed, and then if you stay in too long, then the secondary damage hits. That one actually ends up being the ability that you go, I was full health and now I'm at 3/4, wait, where'd it go? Does a lot of damage, and does an outright stun. How long? I don't know, but this is the main burst and main CC spell. Whereas W at later levels should probably be reasonably spammable, though not quite spam, but it's one of those, it's almost there but not quite. The E, regardless of what you do, is always going to be one of those, it's going to take a while. You're not going to get it back immediately, you better make it count. And then you have R, which might be Snowball, I don't know. What happens is, A, Snowball's attacks become stronger. And it should be noted, this would not be considered on hit, nor can any on-hit ability be applied through his auto attack. Just, no. No. For anyone who's wondering why, dude, that you essentially get 2 auto attacks. Do you really think that would be easily balanced? Makes me... I could dang near have nightmares over that crap. And also, he gets some damage reduction. Just straight up damage reduction. And there you have it. The Artic Druid. A decent control mage. A situationally decent burst mage. And you get a giant Poro. Come on, can you argue giant Poro? I didn't think so. As to where this champion goes, obviously mid lane, that's what she was designed for. She obviously can support with 2 decent CCs, one of which being a stun. That, and also, I do believe this champion could be built reasonably tanky. Heck, Snowball is meant to be tanky in the late game. So I could see, so long as you have another really solidly tanky champion, her being kind of your secondary. So, everywhere except ADC. Please, guys, don't find a way to make her ADC if this ever actually gets done. Then also, hey, Riot, if you're seeing this, all I want is credit for the champion and have the champion and any skins ever made for her for free. That's it. Riot's never going to see this. But, yeah. Like I said, keep snowballing back until he's tanky enough. The only exception from that is if you're jungling, he takes that damage. At which point you're probably getting E first and W second.